Hey gamers, it's Gaming with the Guys, and we are back this week with a very special Bungles After Daybreak. Huh? It's no longer Bungles After Dark because we're doing this early in the morning, well, early-ish in the morning, Chicago time, so we could have some special guests, and we're going to be talking about some figures that recently, I'm dating myself a little bit, but recently were revealed at a Masters event in the UK. So to help me along this journey of discovery and talking of new figures, I'm going to bring in my partner in crime, the fabulous Gaming Jason.
Yeah, gaming after daybreak. That bad name.
Gaming After Daybreak, but it still fills the bad requirement.
No, I don't want to be known as like a daytime alcoholic. That's why it's Bungles After Dark. We can swear and we can drink. If it's gaming after daybreak, then people are going to be like, "Oh, where's the line in my room where the sun shines, where it lets me know when I can start drinking?"
Well, it is cloudy here, but we are close enough to Wisconsin where we could start drinking early as long as it's a Bloody Mary, which also in Wisconsin doubles as a full meal or brunch.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true.
It's true. All right. Well, that's Gaming Jason. He's here to join us to talk about some figures. But the man with the information, the man with I consider to have the most fabulous beard in all of Bushido-dom, Wandler. Hello. Good morning. Or good afternoon to you.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. So 2 comments to this. First of all, we could flip Earth by 90 degrees, then we would be on one time line, and we would be good and could drink at any time because the whole planet would be messed up.
Got a good point. So we're just gonna go with. I'm just gonna let that one slide as Wadler in his layer now is working on his own special laser to change Earth's axes.
Axis there, yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
As we always say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so it's always happy hour somewhere. That's all that really matters, Jason.
I know that spell that matters. Believe me.
Did I misunderstand something? Do I have to have a drink for this? Because
no. We just have some water. No. It's all good. I'm a little parched this morning, but that's all right. So yeah, we're happy to have you here, Wandler. We're happy to have some information that's going to be coming. I know you've done you've been on the Bushido social media circuit with Esmeralda and others.
Yeah, it's been fun. The last 4 days have been recording with you guys, recording with Craig, being on stream with Esme, and discussing one of the miniatures as well. And in 2 days, I'll do the last one for the blacksmith that was spoiled with my buddy from Australia, which always includes drinking because it's always either late for me or late for him, so somebody has to get drunk.
From what we've learned from Australians, it doesn't matter what time it is.
Right, that's the same for Austrians. This comes with the Oster, I think.
We got the Amer, so no, we don't get nothing. That's the sad part. So yeah. So we're looking forward to doing this. I, of course, am wearing my Manchester United jersey because as soon as we're done with this, I get to watch that game and then roll right in to my beloved Bears sucking.
I'm wearing a Mighty Squirrel hoodie, which is a microbrewery from the Boston area, actually.
Very nice.
And they have fantastic beer. I can highly recommend them.
Excellent.
And I'm wearing my pajamas because I woke up at 7:30 because I was up with my family last night in Chicago watching the Holiday Lights Parade. So we got home late. And I was just like, am I going to throw something else on? Nah, this looks good enough. We're good.
So the thing is, we just throw professionalism right out the window here.
This is not a job interview. This is Bungles After Dark.
Oh my gosh. Would art do this, Jason? That's what I always ask myself. What would art do?
I'm pretty sure art would allow this.
Art would allow that. We'll find out when we talk to him at Adepticon. All right. So I guess we could just jump right into things here. Sure. So for those of you who have been kind of watching social media or the Discord, I think Element Games had a Masters event. Yep. And at that Masters event, some things were revealed. Why don't you fill us in on what were the details on that?
Okay, so Element came in late as one of the Masters events. When I'll go back a little bit, and I told parts of this already, but I think it's prudent to give the context to your viewership as well.
Yes.
When we started doing organized play, and this was just me approaching Jason and Gordon and just being like, guys, we need to get Grandmasters tournaments done. We need to elevate the Masters tournaments and do something with them. And I think I can create a benefit if you just let me volunteer. So I'm getting nothing out of this, besides the fact that I had a hand in designing 6 miniatures or 7 miniatures at this point for GCT. So
very nice.
take this with a pinch of salt. But when we said we'll do the grandmasters, the grandmasters winner obviously gets to design a miniature. But we said we need something for the masters tournament, something to elevate them. And I pitched, let me do a whole story, like a continuous story of maybe a village, nothing major, just something that people can follow through. And if they read the lore that we, give out throughout the year, they will have what happens in a village in a year or in a day or whatever time frame we want to pick for this. And Gordon turned around and was like, we'll make it a wave. Let's do a master's wave of miniatures. You can design 6 miniatures with the community, and this also gives people like myself who are not at the level that I would ever win a grandmasters. We got the Motors and the Olofs and the Bushidos and
gaming
your US
Jason's
guys.
here.
Yeah, we will get the good players for these miniatures, but we'll do something with all of the the middle tier, the low tier people who are sometimes more into the lore, sometimes more into the art, but also would embrace the opportunity to have a hand in creating something for GCT or for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did. So I went to the suites with a pack of 6 initial descriptions of characters, and we played the tournament, and then we had a big come together. We sat there with beers and burgers, and I was like, so this is there are Imperial guys going into this village, and they find 6 questionable characters, let's call it like that. And what do you think is the guy with the very rude guy, the very polite guy who's suspicious because he's so polite, the mute youngster, the odd guy who has a giant egg in his hands? Is this livestock, or is how does this get treated?
Mm-hmm.
What about the mad raving guy? What about the young woman, and so on and so forth? And they gave ideas, and they were just shouting whatever came to their mind. And after like 2 or 5 minutes of talking about each character, an idea coalesced there.
Mm-hmm.
And I took this and used this faction decision and basic baseline to go back and write the next level, basically saying, okay, the girl who has a branded face, she's not working for some shadowy organization or something like that, but she's a victim. She got away from something traumatic.
Okay.
The very polite guy, and this is one of the characters we're going to talk about this now. He doesn't hide anything, but he actually embraces the opportunity to get in touch with Imperial agents because he wants to join them. That was the pitch that the Swedes gave me for that character. And ultimately, the guy with the scroll on, if you bring up the screen, I maximized on him.
There you
go. We made him to be a guy who was born in Java and who was raised as an orphan from an Imperial scholar who retired onto the islands and trained him off of Imperial, academy or schools and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And throughout the lore that we wrote, we found out that guy basically passes all the tests and he gets embraced by the Golden Legion, by the Imperial bureaucracy, and is taken in, basically. That's the idea of that character now.
Excellent.
All
I kind of
right.
like that. That's a lot of fun. And I like that there's community involvement. I like that. Again, the Grand Masters has always been the pinnacle that everybody always talks about with Bushido. But for players like me who will never win a Grand Masters for a variety of reasons, whether it's dice hate or other, this is a great opportunity to participate, especially at some of these big events that we have, like with Adepticon coming up around the corner, and there's a whole bunch of others that take place around the world too. And I know the US meta has been growing, and they're looking for other events. They're looking to try to do some things, and hopefully in the near future we're going to be getting some more events, more sizable events with a lot of people at it than just Adepticon. Adepticon's always been kind of the jewel in the miniature gaming thing here, but hopefully whether it's Nova, whether it's LVO, whether it's Texas
Rapercon? or Texas Open.
ReaperCon. There's a couple down in Texas that take place. There's the good news is there's places that it could take root, and there are communities that are trying to support it. So that's good, and this will give them more incentive because I'll have to admit, hitting that 32 number for Grandmasters
feels nice.
It's hard.
It's
Sometimes it should be hard in the U.S., but it is hard.
Well, we have understanding for that, and we always said we are aiming for 32, but if you fall short by some numbers, that's how it is. We don't. On the other hand, we don't want to support grandmasters any more than half, like a dozen participants, like we had with the French situation 2 years ago. And the French guys are amazing, and shout out to that community. They are working hard to grow their community. But if you have a grandmasters winner and a designed model coming out of something like that, it should have more players than we sometimes have in Vienna in Austria on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, for that, definitely, and again, we still pull those numbers for at Adepticon, and I know like last year we did have 32, we just had 4 drops due to COVID and some other reasons. So it is what it is. But yeah,
Exactly.
and I just like it. I'll be honest, the part of the reason, and I'm totally derailing talking about the figures here right now.
That's fine.
That's what I do.
Anytime.
I enjoy Adepticon. The Grandmasters is very highly competitive. People get stressed out about it, but my favorite part of it is after the Grandmasters, where we get together, and I'm hoping this will still happen in Milwaukee. We're freewheeling and drinking and talking and just having a good time afterwards because everybody's now it's done.
Yes. And I'm so much looking forward to actually getting there this year. So
you're going to be that's
well. I've so I shouldn't say this loud, but I'll say it because nobody from my company is going to watch this. Hopefully, I actually delayed the go live of one of our pharmaceutical production sites by 1.5 weeks, so they can go to Milwaukee and after the convention.
The true gamer move right there. This is life-saving information. I mean, how life-saving. Will a week make a difference?
Yeah, it's exactly.
If it's Abbott Labs, they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Abib.
Abito.
Well, no, there's Abbott and then there's Abib. But those are local here. Unfortunately, Wandler, you missed the year where you could have been in Chicago. I've been told that you are a fan of the Chicago city. Now you're going to Milwaukee, and I'm still salty about that. But at least Milwaukee to Chicago is like an hour.
It's not
Milwaukee.
That bad, yeah. So I'll tell you a story, and it's a rather somber story, but I'll make it quick. I've been playing BattleTech, as you might be seeing up there, for I don't know 30 years at this point.
Sure.
And in the US BattleTech forum, there was a guy whose name was Albatross. And he was from Chicago, and he was a very close friend of mine. And he had his very small web page creation business, and he was a pool guy, let's be honest. Like, he barely came by. And he died of the common flu because he couldn't afford the medicine. And I said, and I've been watching football at that point already, but the team of my choosing is a different one. And being a student back in the day, I couldn't fly to the funeral and so on and so forth. And I said, I'm going to cheer for the Bears in his memory for forever, basically. So yeah, it's been a hard way, hard path.
Welcome to be a long-suffering Bears fan. At least you're not a long-suffering Cubs fan. Now we've reset the clock for 108 years. So for Cubs,
easy.
But yeah,
it's Chicago sports in general. They hit something, and then it's just like
we go in spurts. Each team goes in spurts. I'm just waiting for the Bears spurt to come around. The Blackhawks had their time. The Cubs had theirs.
Bulls had theirs.
We won't talk about the White Sox.
White Sox don't exist. They're supposedly going to Nashville. So
who knows?
Really? Wow.
Okay. Well, they just had the worst season in Major League Baseball history.
People
they didn't have.
They had the most losses ever.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They didn't have attendance for like the most games, like for the whole season, and then the games where they were going to break the record, they started getting like they were packing the stadium because people were waiting to be there to
be
see
part
them
of
lose the game.
That's Chicago, and I mean, yeah. So it is what it is, but it's crazy. But Milwaukee. I'm looking forward to Milwaukee because I have those old gamer fields for when Gen Con used to be there. So I would go to Gen Con in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and that was my heyday for Gen Con and going there and so on and so forth. So it's great. And I remember the good old days when FASA was running BattleTech, and they would do
Oh,
stuff in the
yes.
booth, and it was my favorite event because they would have the really cheap plastic mechs. It was realistic battle damage. So, somebody gets hit with a laser, they take a drill and just drill it right through the center
You mean
torso.
like this one?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
there you
no.
go.
They were different. They were a bit different.
Oh,
Those
these are
are
the
actually high
plastic ones.
quality.
Yeah.
So basically, they were. So the mechs they used back then were rip-offs. I shouldn't say rip-offs. They used Robotech
I know.
models.
I very much know.
They were
These ones.
larger. Yes, a little bit larger.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because we
These
used to
ones.
run an event with those, and they would use those, and like if the reactor went, they just take a hammer and smash the mech, and it would go into a million different
Oh,
pieces
great.
and whatnot. But yeah, it was crazy back then. So yeah, you're gonna love it. There's so much to do, and again, Milwaukee's not Chicago, but it's nice. And
Company pays. I don't care.
Yeah.
that's all that really matters, really. All right, so to let's bring this back on track.
Yes.
So you had worked with Odin and Gordon and them to try to get some more community involvement, which is fantastic. And this is kind of what's grown out of it, is making these storyline figures is probably the best way to call it.
Yes. So, after the first event in Sweden, I went back and I said, this was nice, but now we have a way forward. So what we want to get now is basically we got these character portraits. Really,
Nice.
rough sketches, and I think they look fantastic for what they are.
Mhm.
To give, a first feel of the character, because it's a different, at least for me, I'm a very haptic, I like to touch things, I like to look at things. If you just give me text, it works. I can read through text, but it doesn't engage me as much. So what we said, we do these wanted pictures where the bureaucracy strikes. Every character gets their portrait drawn, and they do an investigation. And this is basically what happens. And people are coming in to help and to look at stuff. So we did these, and then we went to Austria, and there we decided. Is this going to be, for this guy character, for example, was the decision, is this guy going to be a bureaucrat or is he going to be a Shugenja? At this point, we knew he would be Imperial, but we didn't know if we want to make him, somebody who's just a stickler for the rules or somebody who's actually, magically or gifted by the kami and so on and so forth. And the Austrians, and I used buttons for that. If you play the game, you get a button. If you're fully painted, you get a button. You have 3 buttons to give to your opponents if you played nice games with them, and so on and so forth. And best painted got a button. The tournament winners didn't get extra buttons. It wasn't about winning the tournament. It was about, doing well and being part of the community. And then we had cups. And one cup said Shugenja for this guy, or bureaucrat, or blacksmith, or samurai, for example, for the Minimoto model, and so on and so forth. And people could yeet their buttons in, and in the end, we did a tally of how much votes went to which decision. And this is how the Austrians decided on, what kind of character each character would be. And from there, we started doing weapon profiles, key feats, special abilities, and so on and so forth.
That's fantastic. That is a lot of fun. And yeah, it definitely gets people engaged, draws them out. That is going to be it's a fun thing. So hopefully we'll be able to do something like that here in the States. That's
You
going to be the
will.
hard part.
I've been talking to Fireforged, who's hosting like the US Masters now, in December. Now this year's master came in very, very late. So, I got nothing for him this year because we didn't have it on our radar.
Right.
We didn't know he wanted to do one. But he's already on track for next year to have one of those decisions. And I've laid out, so this is a spoiler now. Gordon and I talked, and he said the engagement is great. Hopefully the miniatures will sell good. But we'll do a similar thing next year. Not the same, something, we have to mix it up a bit, but we'll do something. And one of those decisions will go to the US as well. So you guys will get the US Masters, and you guys will get the some kind of character decisions, story decisions, and so on and so forth to do at the US Masters. Currently, it looks like Fireforge is going to host it. I hope this isn't too far for most of the players to get there. But,
it's America, dude. It's kind of one of those things where, all right, we want to go from Chicago to Texas. That's like that if you're driving, good luck to you. That's like 6 where he's at. I think
12
it's like
hours,
12 to 16 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then if
So
you want
you
to
have to
fly
fly.
in, if it's flying, it's still a couple $100. It's easily like $200 probably round trip.
Yeah, everything is kind of regional in the states. So, for example, when in our War Machine days, we used to do a
Mayhem.
tournament, the Mayhem Cup, and it was basically the guys from Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. And then
Iowa too.
towards the end, you had some guys from Ohio came in, and then the guys from Texas tried to come up and do it towards the end of the Mayhem Cup series. But that was those were wild times, and you saw those things happening in different areas of the country. So it can be hard for some people to travel about, but when you're young, driving 14 hours to play miniature games is not hard.
Well,
when you're 55, it's like, nah, I ain't doing that shit.
Come on. I drove 7.5 hours to the German Grandmasters. That wasn't fun either.
But you're going but that sounds like that it's actually a good time. Not little Texas, but depending on where it is in Texas, depending on where you're going in Texas, it's kind of like, eh.
Isn't he in Austin?
If it's Austin, that's great.
If he's Austin, that's awesome. If it's if it's Dallas,
Dallas, and San Antonio are okay.
Dallas is a nightmare to drive through.
Dallas is a nightmare to drive through. Houston is, well, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not a fan of Houston.
If it's Austin, Austin's the exception to Texas, because I've been there at least once, and it's
San Antonio
really
is lots of fun too. Trust me.
I'm not down to San Antonio, so.
So, do you want to hop into the character?
Let's hop into the character. Yeah. So we've talked all about that. So it looks like we're going to talk about the Imperial character first.
We'll talk about
is he Imperial? I don't know.
He is Imperial. Yes, he is an Imperial guy. And I'll start at the bottom this time. He's working for Ito, Jung, Minimoto, Prefecture, and Shiho. No STS.
God damn it.
He's a stickler for the rules.
Of course,
he's a stickler for the rules.
Money is a form of paying attention to the rules.
Okay, going up to the top. So he is an Imperial Taishin and part of the Golden Legion. There you go.
Nice.
Very nice.
We gave him a daisho because tradition is tradition. If he's of status, he needs a daisho. He's not good in melee. It's a melee 2 boostable, but where do you want to get? And only has push defense 0, so he can defend himself, but that's pretty much it. He gets nothing else.
Yeah, that's fine.
So punitive discourse. Other people called this Aya on other profiles at a certain point. That is exactly Aya.
Okay.
So this character will be loved by a lot of people playing against him. Only difference, opposed key test. Well, sorry, as it should be. It is exactly the wording of the key feat Aya, but opposed key test. So you have a chance to resist.
Automatic. You have a way to resist this.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
Yes.
And his key stat is boostable too, so that will be helpful. Very nice. Very nice. I like making people berserk and having them attack their friends.
Exactly. I think it's great. I mean, he obviously had something in the books about this character or his opponent. So if he's a stickler for the rules, he kind of sort of needs something to help him with scenario, right? I mean, that was our thinking. Like, this guy needs something to help him with scenario or help others with scenario. So we have, he knows better how to do things. So once per game for 4 cost, which is insane, I think, he can target a model and say if this model's action is scenario action is complex or simple, and change it up. And if he targets a friend, he can make it a simple. If he targets an opponent, he can make it a complex.
Oh, very nice.
It's an opposed key if you target an opponent, obviously, but there you go. It is a big fixer for Imperials because all of the profiles are rather pricey. You don't really want to, you need your bodyguards right to the stuff you want to bodyguard. You don't want Karo to push a button for 2 activations. So this kind of gives you the option to fix all of that and change things up a bit.
Well, damn, even with Ronin, I could see that helping Minimoto in a sense too, with them with them just getting up to places, and then I don't want my big ass samurai being like, oh, I got to spend 2 activations to go flip this idol. You could spend 1 and go kill something now. Congratulations.
Well, or with any any of the scenarios in which you have a complex action to do something, being able at least once to do it as a simple action is going to be good. And then it just general usefulness as making an opposed key test on any of the ones where it becomes vital that you hamstring them by making it the complex, especially because you still have to move into base with the scenario, with the objective. So as soon as they get there and they're about to attempt it, you just go, now it's a complex. You just lost the turn.
So I played this. I played against this in initial playtesting. I played my dissension list. I didn't think about the ability that I wrote. Used Oshibi to dash to the idol. And my opponent was like, yeah, but it's a complex now. And I was like, fuck my life. So this is, I like this one.
That's a good one. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
You want to see the third one?
I do.
It's called To My Side.
Oh.
During an enemy model's activation, when that model moves into base to base with this model, one friendly golden model in this pulse is moved base to base with this model by the shortest route. It's not possible. You can't do it. It is pile on, but for Imperials.
So now that's interesting.
But does the model have to be painted golden? Do I get it? It doesn't have the keyword golden as long as I'm painting it gold.
There is Golden Legion and Golden Sentinels.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, have both options because it's a little bit awkward with the way the Imperium is currently built, because some things are Golden Legion, like Zhongwei and the General, but the Golden Sentinels are not Golden Legion.
Yes, they're just golden.
They're just Golden Sentinels, which makes it a little bit awkward. Funnily enough, this also works with one model in STS. But he's not working for STS, so that's bad.
Yeah.
Because of there's this one Fuku or something like that who's in Golden Dawn.
Yeah, Fuku who's in Golden Dawn, one of the gambler halls.
Yeah, so that would work with him, but he's not working for STS, so it's not a concern.
That'd be hilarious, to be quite honest. To my side, we're gonna bring through the embodiment of gambling and just debauchery.
That would be the absolute opposite of Law and Order. But this is I'm going to enjoy this one, especially in conjunction with Golden Sentinels, because they could be, if I'm reading everything right. So again, I could start moving some of my Golden Sentinels and exhausting them, but then they can't use Bodyguard. But then if I need to, I could pull this. So they're not switching, but at least I'll outnumber my target. So that will be helpful.
Right. Yep. It gives them a little bit of more, as you said, activity on the board, because you can bring them in even if they're exhausted.
Or if they're engaged.
Or if they're engaged. Yeah, it's a move. Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Because you're breaking out of the combat, bringing them in. So yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting then to be able to pull some models when needed. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun.
So he's brave. Because, he walked up to the Imperial agents and was like, guys, I'm worthy to be taken in. Thought we gave him bravery. Willpower 1, and there's a lot of opposed key tests in his profile, so willpower felt correct. And strategy plus 1 key token.
That's nice.
Ooh, I like that.
So he can go
simple
do stuff.
Yeah. And there's one unique effect.
Ooh. Once per game, when a friendly golden model starts its activation base to base with this model, it may walk up to its move stat in inches and perform a scenario action as their next activation. The model must have the necessary activation available.
So it's basically I know there's a couple other models that have it, but Fajin's big with this one on the Urchins as long as he's on the board.
Yep.
Then he can do that. But it's for the whole game, but the Urchins are slow.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Oh, I love it. I love that now that the Imperials will have some things to be able to make them a little more mobile, a little more to handle scenario actions. They have a small range of models now, which I get because it's a relatively new thing, but now you're able to do more with them.
And he's fitting into that. And he's fitting into that. Well, if this is the rice cost 16, he's fitting into that gap where it works out well. It's still pricey for a support model, but 16 rice is it gives you have a little bit more flexibility now than what's available for Imperial.
So I either take the envoy or I take him.
Yeah. And he's in many regards like Koshimura Yukio, the envoy, but a little bit different. Like the envoy can turn you away if you want to target him. He gains, so he draws somebody in. Basically, it's not as good, but it does a different thing. You get where our approach was. It opens up more playstyle, and with golden models, especially golden sentinels, like if you can pull it off, you can to my side a golden sentinel, and then have him in base to base with this guy, maybe defeat his opponent, beat him down or get away or move him away with push defense, and then you are already moved up the board, and the golden sentinel can do a walk in scenario action. So you gain 8 inches and a scenario action out of that, and that's pretty big in Bushido.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty big in most. 8 inches is pretty big in most situations, or so I've been told.
A second, I have to yeet the cat down.
There goes the cat. I was gonna say I saw the tail there. Didn't know if there was some kind of tentacle Cthulhu beast that was trying to reach out to you. But
no, the cat was trying to demonstrate how powerful 8 inches is.
Yeah. But yeah, this is that's the thought process behind him, and I mean I'll leave the verdict to you guys. I like him.
I like him. And again, for Imperials, I think when I use Koshimori, he does some things, and he's a really good at stopping things up. But I like this gentleman because he makes my force more mobile. He gets he moves my guy, whereas I could do an obey with Koshimori. I could twist somebody around. I could stop them from taking a scenario action. That's all good, but I also have to be up to it. I got to be close to the action to a certain degree with him, and Koshimori can't handle that. He could sit back to a certain degree, even though he's going to go forward. But even if he goes forward, I'm going to pull people to me.
Yeah.
So I can't quite do the bait and switch with him with a bodyguard, but I could still bait somebody in and outnumber them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then is the last question I got really quick on the movement one. Is that a once per turn, or is that as much as I want?
This at the bottom, the unique effect.
To my side.
To my side is a pulse cost 1 instant. There is no restriction.
So as long as I have if I have more than one model in that 4-inch pulse, I could pull 2 to 3 models to me.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
So you really, as an opponent, have to think about positioning then again.
Mm-hmm.
Because 4 inches is the moveset on all of the Imperials is 4. So you have to finagle your melee with this guy around trying to prevent golden models coming in.
Yeah,
so
swamping you. Yeah,
he can be rather forward if you can build the golden models around him. So there is a lot of complexity about moving this model and moving your other models. Gives a little bit of more depth to that faction.
No, I'm looking forward to this. Guy's going to be very. I'm looking forward to him because I do love my Imperials, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to fit him in, because this could be a lot of fun with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. All right, he's cool. I like him.
I like him a lot. I see him doing some very interesting things again with the Golden Legion, but with the factions that he works with, I could see him doing some pretty cool stuff with them too.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
At least even not with maybe the moving stuff, since the to my side wouldn't work out as well unless you throw some Imperial models in there, but at least with some of his other just deny scenario plays, and some of his scenario plays almost could be worth it in some regards.
I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm looking forward to seeing the figure too, because this looks like it's going to have a lot of fun with people who like to paint and whatnot with the robes and everything else.
I hope so. I love the hat. This very, very Chinese colored, traditional. I like it a lot. Okay, moving on. What was our second one?
Oh, I know this one. Harry Potter and the Gap Year to Japan. That's what I call it.
Oh, we're talking about this guy, right?
This guy, yes.
Yes. So I have never replaced the artwork on him. Give me 1 second. Oh God.
Bungles. Congratulations, Wandler. You've had your first Bungles After Dark.
There you go.
There we go.
Much better. I like this. Okay, so this guy is an interesting one from what we did with him at the beginning. He started as the rude boy. So the initial description was he wouldn't be held by the Imperial agents. He would be berating. He would be annoying. He would yell at people and so on and so forth. The initial idea was to give an option between this guy actually being a young Buto and going into the Chung Pirates, or being an STS model that would go into Silvermoon.
Which clearly neither are going
Swedes
to happen because they hate
neither happened. No,
Neither
the
happened.
Swedes massively disliked any of the options, and they couldn't decide on anything. So we were like, okay, we got 5 out of 6 decisions that we wanted. That's fine. What should we do? We'll push it to the Austrians. Let's not make a decision and push it to the next masters and see
Mhm.
what happens there. What I didn't foresee is that people approached me right at the beginning of the masters and were like, so there's this one guy we haven't had a decision on. Yes, that's true. Can I have an empty cup, please, with no tag on it? And I was like, okay. And Doji Josip did that, and he wrote Shiho on it and put the cup right there. And I was like, okay, I mean, there is no Shiho model, so I'm fine with this. The ninja player walked up, took another cup, and wrote ninjas on it and put it right there. So at this point, a bidding war started between basically 2 factions at the tournament, putting a massive amount of their buttons into those 2 cups. And in the end, each of the 2 options got more votes than all other character votes for all other characters combined. And it was won by the best painted vote by 22 to 21 votes.
Wow.
There you go.
It's tight.
It's tight. So Shiho won.
Okay.
All right.
This is not a Shiho model.
It's not a Shiho model.
It's not a Shiho model. Dun, dun, dun.
It's a silver moon model. Please be a silver moon model.
No,
I know
it's Shiho's Pico.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shiho and KKZ, that would make sense.
That's
So
gonna be fun.
The idea was, and I went back to Gordon and was like, okay, I have an idea. The idea is when the Shiho were put to the sword, and there was one young family member who was learning to be a falconer, breeding falcons, being part of what the Shiho clan does, and he got away because he was before his Genpuku. Genpuku is this, this rite of becoming an adult in Japanese. It's like your Japanese bar mitzvah. Let's call it like that.
Sure.
And he was before his Genpuku. He got away, and the Kage took him in because he was really good with animals. So he worked for them for the last decade and a half, while somebody got drunk on the mainland, to help breeding carapans. And this is why he has carapans all over his body, because he's basically the guy in Kage who does all of the animal work. And this is why they kept him. Now the Shiho have returned, and he kind of sort of remembered his origins, let's call it like that, and went back to the Shiho and working with them as well, if that makes sense for you, lore-wise. Yep. Let's go up. So he's a loyal samurai Nosta ninja. That's a mouthful.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. That is a mouthful, but that's cool. Shiho Kizo. Okay. Ninja. That's a lot of keywords there.
That's a lot of keywords. So he has the most favorable melee pool for every ninja, too.
I don't think there's any ninja that's got a 2 melee pool right now.
No.
There are none.
He's by far the worst fighting ninja in the game.
I was going to say he's average for Shiho, but not for.
He's got the Shiho curse. He's paying the Shiho tax.
He's paying the Shiho tax. Yes. So he's on 6 wounds. And there are his weapons. He has a Tachi.
I was going to say he beats people with the carapan.
Yes, he does. He yeets carapans at people.
I mean, that's pretty sweet. Fletching carpets.
He's the crazy cat woman from The Simpsons.
He's cat woman whipping the cats by the tails and throwing them.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's awesome.
You fix him and
Oh, yeah.
He really chucks them far with a range of 10. Well, they fly, so it's like a missile. They start going.
Yeah, his touch here is nothing to write home about. Parry 1 on the weapon and sidestep defense 0. So he's baseline. Yeah. This is where it gets spicy.
Oh, his lightweight with the carapin's too great. So I can move around. I can move around.
Just pick one up. There's no weight to these things. Come on.
Yeah, they'll over him anyway. So Animal Master cost X+1. It's a 1 can't be done in base to base. Shiho Kizo gains order animal X for within 8 inches until the end phase.
That's nice.
That'll be
So
fun.
that gives him the opportunity to order around a fully grown Carapan, or
Mhm.
Or or Neko.
or a Neko, or maybe Eagles if he has access to Eagles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Eagles.
Second one, convene Intel. Target other model gets tactician +1. This effect lasts. We know tactician. I mean, he works with birds. I mean, birds give you Intel, right?
Right.
No, that's nice
Gonna
too.
that's gonna actually be that's hugely
That's
helpful,
huge for
especially
Ninja.
+1 because
Yeah, it's +1. So it there are tactician models in Ninjas already, so you can go to tactician
3.
2 and so on and so forth with that.
He can stand on equal footing with Kazumoto for
Yes.
finally.
For
He,
Takashi.
basically yes. He's kind of Kazumoto colored for animals,
Mhm.
if you want to do it like that. So this is another mouthful because we had to unite what the Shiho have and what the ninjas have. So he has assassin, aware because there are animals all over him,
Mhm.
bravery, camouflage because he's a ninja, command animals, flank, prowess melee 1, and vengeance Takashi.
He gets all the traits.
It's a Mad Libs of Bushido. All right, it's a Ninja and Shiho. So put your keywords in here.
Let's see. Yeah, we want to add this, and then he's got a little bit of Ito in there, so we'll give him some blood of Orochi. Why not?
Just put it in
Sure,
one.
let's do that as well.
He throws a bleed 2 token on someone when he whips a caravan at him. So
that is hilarious. I want to see what the special is other than the bleed. That's gonna probably be what it is.
You both glanced over something that is so natural for a Shiho model, a Shiho samurai, that you're missing one very important point.
Oh.
This is the first reroll from a prowess within ninjas.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because he's prowess melee. He doesn't have to buy it.
Well, with 2 dice, and again with 2 dice, I'm not that concerned that he has the reroll for prowess, and he has parry too, which is nice. So he can be very defensive.
So he's going to be on a 40 mil though, small on 40 mil.
Okay.
Because of the pose, like we picked this artwork, and Gordon said to me, "If we take this pose," and it was by far the best one. I can show you the concept arts if you like after this.
Sure.
He was like, with this stance and all of the birds over him, we have to make this a 40 mil model. And I was like, why not?
I don't think anybody's going to complain.
No, they're not.
It gives you ever the smallest edge in regards of getting up on the board, but if you're flanking anyway, so
yeah.
You want to talk about the backside of the card?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The warband's recruiting this model may also include Carapan and Ronin Birds models regarding affection and theme. That means
so Shiho can get Carapans now.
Shiho can get Carapans and ninjas can get Eagles.
Oh, nice. They can't get Eagle, but they get
Eagles. That'll be fun.
They get the Eagles, so that's pretty disgusting.
Carapan models cannot declare melee or charge actions against this model. I mean, they love him. Pretty much every Carapan in this game has been bred by this guy. So
there you go.
I mean, they like him.
Yeah.
Even when he's chucking them at opponents.
Be free.
This model doesn't need line of sight for. This is like the bird strike rule again. Doesn't need line of sight. Instead of a damage roll, opponent gets a bleed 1/2 marker without needing to inflict a wound, and if the target is surprised, it also gets a blind marker. Scratching at eyes.
That's gonna be yucky because the bird's like right on its face. That'll be fun.
Well, it's just funny that it's anti-ninja tech weapon with a ninja model, essentially.
That is true. When he decides to get angry with them,
just start whipping Carapans around. Why does he do that? We don't ask.
This model may be recruited into Shiho and Shadowwind themes as if they were faction model. If recruited in the theme, this model is considered to be a Shiho Shadowwind model. Blah 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 blah. This is the make it legal in the themes wording that is on various models that go into multiple factions. So here are the 2 options that he has, and as a North Star, he needs to have something like an item or itemish ability. So he has something like a healing bomb that can heal an animal in base to base, which is nice with the Carapans or big eagles and so on and so forth. And the other one is one that ninjas might have needed for a while.
What is that? I'm waiting.
Oh, access to Sync Sites probably because
Yeah,
why not
Six-
be able
this
Oh
to
my
mod gets
gosh.
6 cents until the
we need more
Okay.
anti-ninja check models within our own faction.
Oh, makes sense. He's aware. He knows ninjas tactics and things like that. So he has to have the six. He's able to choose the 6 cents. But
Well, I
yeah,
think the
between that
Carapans
or
are
heal
also
a
6 cents.
Carapan, that'd be.
I think the Carapans by default are 6 cents. I know Nico is, but
yeah.
so
there
I
you
guess
go.
it makes sense.
I like it. Both are going to be fun. I'm thinking the Shiho people are going to be enjoying this one, and the Ninja people are going to find some interesting choices from. I will say, my lack of familiarity with playing both of those factions has me wondering, but I still think it's going to be one just for modeling and for the model itself with all the little Carapens on it. It's going to be fun, and I think the concept of it is just great.
I really love him. I love him for the fact that he does a lot of things differently. He unlocks things in other factions that changes how factions are being built and done.
Mm-hmm.
And he himself is not one of the big impact models. Like he's not one of the ninjas who goes in and just eats the world, or one of the
Mhm.
Shiho who come from the side that you have to instantly be. Shiho Shira comes from a side and you have to take care of him. This guy is not painted to be a model that needs instant aggression.
No. He's one of it's you're getting swarmed with a lot of models that you have to figure out what you want to do with. What's my biggest threat? And he may be lower down on that, but that could come back for the players depending on how you play him. Could be a much bigger nuisance than you planned for.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
just from a ninja perspective. I mean, you'll still take all the other ninja staples or however you want to build around them. I am very interested to see if Carapans get used more, at least dual Carapans, and God forbid that you decide to take Nico. I mean, that's just a lot of it's a lot of commitment though to models that can't scenario action, if I'm remembering correctly.
Well, I mean, and
But
so here's a new thought for then how you could do it. If you're playing them in ninjas, you could take a whole bunch. You could take almost an animal build, and then put a couple heavy hitter ninjas in there, because what ninja's not a heavy hitter? And just you use your waves of animals that he could heal and throw at you or whatnot, and the birds coming in from angles and all different things. You got to deal with all that nuisance while the regular ninjas are just staying stealthy, hidey, and going up and just getting all the scenario actions.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you could.
I played this once in playtesting, and my opponent went double Carapan birds, like the two birds, like the two birds of
Conclave.
Shiva.
That's right. You get the stupid eagle that flanks in off of a missile. That's so annoying.
Exactly. And he had all three of those himself, and he played I think 2 or 3 very cheap, like the cheapest ones, like the very
Right.
cheap ones.
Oh, the worms.
Yeah, worms and this kind of stuff. So the ninjas only went in to finish something up or do scenario, while the birds, as you said, Greg, did all of the heavy lifting because
Right.
or the Carapans, because he can order the Carapans, so he can really take a lot out of these models who do not want to push buttons and cannot push buttons.
Right. And I just was remembering there's another ninja. I'm just opening my app now that has I'm on the wrong page for it. There we go. That has the little raven that's annoying as all get out too.
Oh, the one of the
Is it the crow one? Is it
Yeah,
Gorkan?
Long shadow ones, you mean?
yeah, the long shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shadow Crow.
Yeah, that one is super annoying.
Tell me about it. But that, so that's that opens up a new way. I mean, from what I see, when normally you play ninjas, it's very hard for someone to almost even just take that fifth ninja. Now it's going to be very interesting to see how many people will play. Well, I'm going to take a whole bunch of animals, this guy, and then you could easily get a ninja list that still could be cheap and still have all the fun tricks and events and whatnot, and still be like 6-7 models.
Mm-hmm.
So that
changes how you play the game as a ninja player.
Also, I'm not gonna lie too. Even though the Carapans they're good, they're not like not death defying, but it will also be nice for Shiho that they can take models they can take more adequately better fighters with having access to the Carapans at 3 melee versus 2. So that all of a sudden opens up a lot of that's going to open up a lot of options for them as well. And then you just take your other cheapy normal dudes that you would that'd be super defensive anyways, and they're just going to go run around and go grab your objectives until the Carapan die.
It's a big distraction when you have the Carapan out there and you're playing a Shiho list, because now there's a legit fighter out there that's mobile.
That's true. Also, don't forget that you get the tactician bonus on him as well, which is also kind of nice to get your first activation in if you really need it. I think that
Carapan during the end phase, enemy model may walk.
Which one?
Yeah, then so the Carapans also have a special ability where they where the Carapan itself can walk and walks directly towards a friendly ninja model, and if they're base to base with it, then that ninja model is getting tactician +1. So So if you have your other tactician, you could actually beat Quasimodo, and you could possibly be tactician 3.
Or we could be tactician 4 if you take the. I think they have
ninjas don't have an enhancement that gives them better tactician.
But there's somebody that does have innate tactician in them.
And no, they have innate tactician in them, but they don't have like another one like Teachings of Yurashi or whatever, where it gives them that +1 additional. So
no, you can get up to 3. You can get up to 3. Have innate 1, get a Carapan 1, and get this tactician 1.
Yeah.
But tactician 3, honestly, I mean, I'm playing Dissension. I'm crying already in dice.
Tactician 2, I'm crying if somebody has that. Tactician 3, it's like just I don't even bother.
Yeah.
No, you need tactician 3 because you're going to roll 2 1s out of those 3 dice.
I'm going to roll 3 1s. Let's be honest. That's why I need tactician 3 just so I can rage quit. That's a thing. So yeah, So I'm going to say just in general, I'm liking the models. I liked the because I watched the Twitch stream with Esme. I loved the Ryu model, because me and Gaming Jason were talking about that the other day. I really liked how that one is going to be, and it, he was worried with all the lightning and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, it's an arc node, but yeah, you know what? It's really only working with Ryu. And you pretty much know what's you don't have to worry about Great Pilgrim in X list, because you can only take this figure in Ryu. But I like how that one is. I'm enjoying some of the, I'm going to enjoy all of them, to be honest. It's just, I'm liking the variety. I'm liking that, unlike some of the Grandmaster models and some of the complaints that we get as a Grandmaster models take the power level of the game up to here. These are nice filler models, if that's the right term for it.
And that is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to bring models into the factions that open up a little bit more of the playstyle, give you another list option, make maybe something viable that hasn't been played at all, like Matsu hasn't been played continuously for the last years. Just get something in that isn't instantaneously a new, like, I don't know, a new heavy lifter that is in every list.
I'll call it Kenichi Genmu, because I've definitely seen that, and I didn't intend it to go that way, but with Kenichi basically kind of overtaking Iron Fist at this point with away from its initial purpose, a lot of people are like, they'll still use the traditional Buto list, but a lot of people are like, it makes definitely more sense now. Iron Fist needs to be like Shaite intensive because of what Kenichi kind of brought to that.
Exactly. And this was the attempt not to redefine the factions, but give them more options. So can I go Rich Eisen on you guys?
You sure can. Go for it.
Can we do one more?
Oh, we could do one more. Sure.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
You want to discuss the blacksmith?
Ooh, I'll be happy to discuss the blacksmith. Yes.
So I'm just feeling feisty. Let's do the blacksmith. So I'll. I mean, we've all seen the artwork. I hope you've seen the artwork. So this one is interesting because lore-wise, we started with him being mute, which changes things because all the blacksmiths have command, if you remember.
Oh, yes.
So we had to go with something different. Why is he there? The story is that he was at the Hare clan estate working. At the beginning, we thought about something with technology, maybe go towards a handoutable crossbow or something like that. But then I played this once, and I had a +2 crossbow with PS2 and 15 inches distance that I could hand to a samurai. And then you suddenly had Nico standing there at range, lobbing crossbow bolts at you. That wasn't great.
Those aren't
If-
crossbow bolts at
but-
+2 Pierce 2. Those are ballista bolts coming in for 15.
if I remember correctly, it was very short of this is why Wasapu got nerfed after
Yeah.
the amount of times using him. So what do? We're just gonna make a model that can hand that shit out.
So we're not doing this. And I was like, what else can he do at the hair estate? Maybe build an armor, because Minimoto, armor smith, that kind of goes hand in hand. And the lore is he burned down the estate while working. And
Because
for
he
him
wanted
being
to or incompetent.
no, it's just incompetence.
Okay,
This
that's
is
better.
he just made a mistake and everything started to burn, and he basically summoned the fire kami, and the fire kami started to consume everything around him because he didn't have it under control. This is also why he got burned. This is why he's mute, because his vocal cords basically, from the heat and the flames, shriveled and are gone now. If you look at this very much is a hair clan armor. If you look at the face mask of the guy having the Buki weapon, for example, that is a hair clan armor, and this was supposed to be a hair clan armor built by a Minimoto Smith. This is also why this guy costs 25 rice.
Oh, it's a two-parter?
It's a
Oh.
two-part. They're like
So
wolf
you get
spears.
both?
At the moment,
Oh,
all of
okay.
this is subject to change. Jason
Yeah.
was musing if he wants to, divide them up, but at the moment, this is the plan. So there are 25 for both, for the Smith and his Kami.
Okay.
And they have some abilities that are working hand in hand. Let's put it like this. So let's go up. Hoshi Aida, Blacksmith. Very simple, nothing else.
There we go. Yep.
Melee 2 can boost for 4. Very cheap.
So yeah, he's not boosting.
He's
He might
boosting
be.
if his life
He
depends
might
on
be.
it.
Yeah, if his life depended on it. Yeah.
Or if he can siphon from the Kami, then that would be pretty cool.
Let's see. Move 4 as Minimoto is 7 wounds as Minimoto is tongs. I mean, look at his weapons. He has blacksmith tongs in his hands.
Yeah.
I don't know if you US guys call them tongs as well.
We do.
No, we do.
Calling them pincers? Okay, tongs. Good. So
some people might call them forceps, but that's just because they're fancy.
It sounds
from the East
so
Coast.
much like foreskins, but I can't help myself. Anyhow, moving on. Tongs, reach, grapple attack. Because that's
that's what it does.
Yeah. And I'll hop down to his special abilities right here, because this is very important with the grapple attack. If this model moved into melee with an enemy model, this activation, he may use grapple attack at 0 cost.
Oh, that's nice.
That would be very nice.
Makes him a little bit more aggressive. And now this is also where the boost is usable, because, if you decide to walk in and grapple something, you can walk in and you might have the 4 to just boost for a 3rd dice and go all attack. And hope for a good roll.
We're not gonna. You're already being penalized enough. We're not gonna penalize you that much.
Yeah, and also you can guarantee you're not dying. Don't forget that you can't one-shot a Minimoto model at all, because you can always go just a scratch, and there's no 14 on the chart. So there you go.
Excellent.
Going back up. So what does he? We gave him a very simple ability, sort of a Kami. Shiho players know this one because it's the same like Heimin. They lose insignificant for 1.
Ooh, but you lose it. Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say, just thinking of that now, and I'm thinking pre-Fire Kami. It's like, oh god, here comes the Fire Kami Revolution Part 2. But now they're done. They're down from speed 6 to speed 4, so it's not as bad, because otherwise,
exactly.
But it's still pretty rough, but it manageable.
Next one. Target-friendly lesser Kami instantly uses one of their unique effects without subsequently being removed from play.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Here comes the Fire Kami.
Here's the rebirth of the Fire Kami, but except worse, because it's Nafukaya. I blow up here and here and here.
So,
but it's once per game at least.
It's once per game for each Kami.
Okay,
so you can only blow it up once.
I can't spam it.
Still,
we thought about that. Also, with other Kami maybe giving durable in the case of the Earth Kami, who might come to that faction sooner or later as well, or not at all. or maybe assuredly, you don't know, I might know, um, then it might be interesting as well not to give a model durable every turn.
That's
Right. Yes, that would be.
God forbid a
Minimoto doesn't
Minimoto
need another.
Samurai.
Yeah,
I have
don't
2
give.
Ryos now.
Yeah, yeah, don't do that. And then target friendly Kami of Enduring Embers gains 1 key token.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
what-
So you could heal. Oh wait,
what
it's Enduring Embers, so it's
what
a
is a
specific
Kami of
Kami.
Enduring Embers?
That might be the new armor
Kami?
one.
Kami of Enduring Embers. So yes.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So he has Believer Blacksmith, which helps other blacksmiths because
great.
stuff gets cheaper.
Very nice.
This is a bit of an effort to maybe see more blacksmiths being played, because besides Kashira, every blacksmith isn't really great because some of them only are key 1 and they have key feats that, prohibit them to being really active. So there you go. He's only durable fire, not immune.
Okay.
Good.
Which makes
because
sense, I guess.
Yeah, he got burned. He's not as cool. Resistance 2 and Steadfast, they all have that.
Yeah. It's a decent he's got a lot of fun things that'll happen. Being able to heal his Kami is going to be
awesome.
a huge thing. And I think it's going to be different. Blowing up the Kamis will be fun too.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
just trying to think with this Believer and the blacksmiths how that would kind of work out. Just
It's going to lower the cost of things.
I'll just have to look through it more, just because I see the blacksmith mainly as kind of like support models, and then you run into the Silver Moon trap of, oh, oops, I took too many support models, and now my entire list fell apart.
That is true, but keep in mind that you might want to play him and maybe one of the other who aren't Kachira. Also, it makes the blade cheaper. So if you're running into Minimoto, you're running within 12 inches of Kachira, you might get hit by the blade dedication turn 1, which is also not going to feel great. So there are a lot of mechanics in there, and with him interacting with Kami so much, you get a very cheap button pusher because he can unlock insignificant on a Kami, who then can turn something for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I see that part. It's, again, this is just me kind of looking into it, just kind of what debauchery I can try to take with, like, I'm taking 4 blacksmiths. I'm taking 4 blacksmiths, and we're all focusing in on Taniko or focusing into Aya or whatever Al's new model is, and just be like, go destroy everything.
All blacksmiths, all fire Kamis, all metal 2 fire Kamis, 2 metal Kamis, the Ember Kami, and
and the Ice Bear Kami, and
Ice Bear Kami.
Well, you've seen the artwork, haven't you?
Yeah, that's true.
Jason may have. I don't know if I have.
No,
Brother, either they showed it on the website, or I think Brother Bear shared it or showed us.
Oh,
and we had it in the booklet for the Austrian Masters in, I think, May or June. So
Yeah.
it is out there. It is browsable. Let's call it like that. So yeah, there's an Ice Bear Kami coming, for those who didn't know.
Something to look forward to. That'll be good. All
Yep.
right. So yeah, I love it. I love all. Like I said, I think all these models will be interesting. And the other trick that I like about this guy is he is an investment. He's 25 rice, but you are getting 2 models.
But you get him. Good. I can't leave you hanging now. Come on.
It's like, I'm scared to see what that fire Kami is going to be like, because, and at least in our local meta, people, the fan dancers have, I've soured some people for them, and they're like, they're only 23 rice, so if you split that in half, they kick more ass than any 11-point model in the game.
Yes, but if you only take one singly, they're not going to be that good. So.
Oh, I know. I mean, we point this out to them, but they're still salty about it.
Yeah. So melee pool 3 can boost for 1. Simple. Range pool 3 might be important. Move 4, 7 Kami wound boxes, so he can get healed. This would be the first Minimoto model that can be healed.
There you go.
Very important. That is a thing.
Yes.
Kami wounds. So these are his weapons: Flaming Fist +1, Fire 1/2, Powerful Attack 1, Combo Attack 1.
Oh, nice.
Or Greater Fireball, again +1, 2, 4, 6, Fire 1/2. So he's like a regular Fire Kami, but he's a little bit bigger.
He's better.
He's got a bigger punch because he's a big flaming suit of armor.
Exactly.
And that greater fireball is wicked too. Oh, that's gonna.
So we have Reforged Gauntlet. This model's melee weapon gains sharp and PS1 until the current action is resolved.
Nice.
There you go.
So if you want to punch through, I don't know, an armored Onisho or something like that.
Or you cut through a Buto now, all of a sudden real easy.
Or any Ryu model that's got armor 3, yeah.
Brings it down slightly out of armor 2 with that, so they're only -1.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's
Fan the Embers. This model gets +1 strength and fires 0+1 on its weapons until the current action is resolved.
Oh, on its weapon, so he can just start shooting fireball 3s if he wants, or he's just like, I'm just going to start punching you, and if I pay the extra die to combo into you, congratulations, every fire you take is a fire 3. So he's basically Jikoku Berry for fire.
Yeah.
Oh man, Flaming Fist. Putting on the Flaming Fist will be hilarious. +2.
Well, it's on both his weapons, so
yeah,
you don't have to pick. So yeah,
but it's only until the action is resolved. So you
I mean,
can't
it's still
he weakens himself, but yeah, he's got somebody who could heal him. So
so he's fine with that.
That's the trade-off.
I'm okay.
So it would be kind of bad if he has armor or something like that, right? So he's armor 3.
Yeah. Pseudo armor.
He's a pseudo armor, yeah. Aware, because why not? Fear 4, immune prone, insignificant, Kami, and soulless.
That's the big kick to the nuts right there. Immune to prone. I'm just gonna call it out because not being. I mean, that's like the biggest thing why I hate dealing with the skeletons is like, oh, yep, they're immune to everything, so I can't even prone them. But being immune to prone in Bushido is like probably the biggest thing. It is like the biggest advantage in my opinion.
It is very significant that he's immune prone. I absolutely agree. But he's 40 mil, so he stands tall and a medium model. So he needs something because otherwise he just gets knocked down and shot to pieces.
Yep, that's for sure. Yeah, getting shot, we know all about that, Mister. I took out Ryujin in one attack thing, Jason. So yeah, be quiet.
So when Hoshiaida is removed from play, this model gains aggressive, bonsai, and +1 weapon strength. So don't kill the Smith.
Don't kill the Smith. He's just the messenger.
He's basically like Kazu, but if Kazu had separated the boy from the model, and then the boy actually like buffed Kazu.
Yeah. So yeah, 40 mil medium because I want this model to be looking amazing and big and beefy, and you want this to be a centerpiece in your army.
You want that is the spear tip. That's what you're going to ram down somebody's throat and make them deal with it, and then while everything else is plotting up behind it.
And when he's on 1 key left, you use Nuan and you put him into his pot for reloads.
Wait,
because Nuan can take the commies and turn them into reloads for his his molten ball.
That's right.
Balls attack.
That's right.
It's just a fun thing on the side.
He has a use just before he dies because he doesn't explode like the other fire commies.
He doesn't. No, he does not. He just falls apart.
Yeah, he just falls apart. It's all that iron. But man, seeing that coming up the field, 2 fire commies and that just coming towards you, knowing that suit of armor could be healed too.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, well, I'm going to take out the healer. Okay.
Good luck. Well, I mean, I don't want to say good luck getting to it. I mean, as long as he engages you first, it's a lot easier. Being insignificant, you can still kind of play around him a little bit.
Yeah, sure. You could.
But again, if he gets the key feed on him where he gets it removed, then it's a little bit. It's difficult. It's more difficult to do it, but that is something where it's like it's not impossible to, but it does require. It's not as easy as push play as some Minimoto players would probably think. Where it's like, click, okay, good luck, deal with this. Like, I got some insignificant, so I could try to kind of maneuver around you a little bit, unless if you're going to pay the resource to force me to deal with you.
Well, and 3 fire attacks coming in too. If you decide to just do all range attacks, it's the scorched earth policy. I'm just going to start blazing everything in front of me.
Yeah, the option of a Minimoto gun list is now absolutely real, because if you take a witch,
well, it's back. It's back.
It's back. Yeah, if you take a witch. And if there's a 3rd witch coming, which isn't a big secret, but she also will have range. I mean, the range attacks are sculpted on the model, which has already been openly possible to see. So that one might have a ranged attack as well. If you take the expensive witch, that one might have a ranged attack, has a ranged attack, and you have all of this. So yeah, there's a Minimoto gun list in the making.
Well, even just the disc throwers themselves, we've learned that the disc throwers can be
I
kind
made
of
a point
vile.
proving that the disc throwers can be a nasty gun line.
Yeah. So I just figured something out while we were discussing this, and I need to change something about this profile. Because otherwise the Empower from Kinsoku might be a little bit awkward with this model.
Because you can only boost Fire Kami, right? And it's basically inspiration for Fire Kami, if I remember.
No,
right.
it is no, that's the other one. This is the the one who buffs who gives armor to the unblessed Ashigaru. It's the 12 rise one. But one of his key feats, which is never being played because nobody plays the Metal Kami, is while target friendly Metal Kami, which this guy is within 6 inches of an enemy model. Friendly models with no other friendly models within 3 inches, them gain armor X, where X is equal to the number of key tokens on the Kami. You don't want an armor 7 model in the
7.
Hey, you know what? It's a once per game, and you're forcing people to use it. So I would just be like, no, leave that interaction as is, and this guy is just going to be unstoppable for
and he's gonna be a little island of
armor
himself.
plus. It's not armor plus. He switches out armor 3 for armor 7, and it is a complex action. So to be fair, I mean, like you're pointing this out now, so everybody knows that this is very possible to happen. But I mean, you're still paying for it, and then it's just a turn of how much Pierce can I get? Or it's just like, all right, I hope I roll high.
Well,
or you just roll defense as well and just know that nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing's basically. You shall not pass. That's the moment you go Gandalf on him right there with armor 7. Nobody else. You got no friends around you because you know. And yeah, that would be. I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but I get what you're thinking about tweaking it. But it would be interesting to see how that plays out just a little bit, because there's got to be there's a certain sequence of these things have to happen in order for it to work, and we get that. So our old playtest group would always get kind of up in arms about certain things, and I was always like, I get it, on paper it's looking horrible, but let's put it on the table. Let's see how things work out. And then sometimes, you know what, it really was horrible. But 9 times out of 10, trying to pull off that amazing
super combo is just like, all right, congratulations, you did that, but you gave up a victory point to do it. And I was slightly inconvenienced, so you maybe killed the model, but it was a model that was already kind of engaged there. And it's like, I was okay losing that model, to be honest. So
you had to commit a lot to do it.
You're going to have to do something to pick this back up, or right now I'm going to just try to keep pushing forward.
That's true. Yeah. So, Greg, if you want to bring up the other screenshot that I just opened up, because then I can show you some of the artworks.
I think. Oh no! If you're sharing your screen, you got to do it on your end.
Yeah, you do it on your end.
How do I do this?
So there should be a little button that says present.
Hopefully the present button.
No, I did. It says I'm in a screenshot, but I thought you had to bring it up.
Oh yeah. Okay, hang on. I was in a smaller thing. There we go.
Yes.
I forgot. I was in widescreen, so I didn't see that new window come up.
That's fine. You can already see 2025 event support up here. Not going into that one now. So these were the options that we had back there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I kind of like I mean, I like how he is now, but this is just going to be me from a fuddy-duddy old miniature guy. I like A and C because I could store those easier in my foam miniature case. Nothing is worse than when I got a model that's got things and they're all pointing straight up, and it's like, how the hell am I fitting that?
So you're not playing Dissension, I take it.
He's not.
Yeah. So I liked A as well because it didn't give away the straw hat thing so easily. But yeah, so that is that was our second runner up, but this one was the most protective pose. It was like he likes his carapans while chucking them at an opponent.
Well, he's whipping them at people. The other one, I mean, honestly, if you picked pose A, just with that like gentle, friendly smile right there, and it almost looks like he's got the carapan by his legs, like, today's a great day. How he wakes up in the morning. He makes up with his morning tea and then looks at the sun, thinks about his day, and takes his first caravan and whips that shit out there.
You could almost hear the sounds of the lion. It's the circle of life as he's whipping carapans off the Pride Rock there.
Catch it! Yeah, so that is that. And I wanted to show you the Imperial guy as well, because these were the options we had on him.
All of them with awesome hats.
Of course,
Yes, so I gave a lot of hat options.
They're all very good. He's got the platform. I love A because he's got the platform shoes.
Yes,
He's got that. I was a small man, but now I have power.
Exactly. I'm not grown, but yeah. I disliked B a lot. He looked very.
B looks too bland. I like C because it's almost like he's in your face. Say, look at this, read this.
Yeah, but that reminds me more of the Envoy, so that's why I'm glad that it's more of like the A pose, because the Envoy looks very. Or wait, no, like never mind. I was thinking the Envoy for some reason had his scroll open, but he's got just the cross arms.
Yeah,
the Ascension Kakyus have open scrolls, and they're holding them like this as well. And I like that A is looking so dismissive. You know, he doesn't really look at you directly. He's like, get lost. Come on, these are the rules. And this is also why I said we need open parchment here, because you know, if you're pointing out that there's something written in the law, you want to, you know, stick the law in their face and be like, look at this.
Because everybody knows the best kind of correct is technically correct.
Exactly.
That's what he's all about.
Exactly.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct.
That's true. Yeah, so that's that. And I can show you the Kami options as well.
Oh. Yeah, no, you guys picked the right one.
I was like
the other two.
It's like the little saucer helmet.
Well,
like,
I'm looking at B, and B looks like he found some Ashigaru armor and it's just
exactly
become alive.
Boring.
C is all right, but no, A looks like a nice mix of like an Ashigaru and like maybe some samurai armor right in there.
Nah, exactly. A is the best one for sure.
So that was super simple. Gordon asked me, which one do you like the most? And I was like, we take A. And he's like, we take A.
Are you asking me this question actually, Gordon?
No,
I was greatly collaborative. It was great fun to work with him. He has a keen vision. And these were the Minimoto Smith options. As you can see,
I'm missing that giant ass gauntlet. Where'd that go?
Well, we removed it because the first idea for that character was that he would be buffing bear armor.
Oh, okay.
That was the first initial draft that I had in my mind. So when I wrote up the arch drafts, it also said like a very crude, very big piece of armor that could fit on an animal. So this is why he has this shoulder pad and he has this thing and he has this almost plate looking thing. Because I said he might be buffing armor on bears or bears in general, because we have a blacksmith who buffs, you know, samurai. We have one who gives out weapons. We have one who buffs Kami a bit, but also gives Unblessed Ashigaru something. So giving something to bears would be, you know, kind of the next step.
How do we make cocaine better? How do we make cocaine
exactly. But also, you know, the initial conversation very briefly was, you know that the ice witches have the samurai tag as well.
Yes.
How about armor for ice witches? And
That'd
Jason
cool.
was like, no.
Okay.
That's
Like,
okay.
lame. And it's like, what's the harm in it? I mean, the witches are kind of frail, so adding some armor on there wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, they can still do some other stuff.
Ice armor, shields.
It's ice armor, yeah. But that's it.
All right. Well, I appreciate. Well, let's. We're gonna close this up here, unless you got. Oh, yeah, gotta look at that guy.
I'll do this one as well. So you know already which fashion he goes into?
He's not going into Silver Moon. If it is, then that's just. If he's not going into Silver Moon, I mean, it's just going to be the biggest like, I screwed.
Oh, you mean because of the 3 silver moons?
One would actually hope, but my guess is he's now at this point because everybody hates Silver Moon more than usual. I'm guessing he's probably like some Dissension model or something.
Temple.
Oh yeah, Temple. There we go. Temple model.
So you're very close, Craig. No, he's not in Silver Moon. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I know you're not. Everybody in the Silver Moon board is now like, damn, that kind of sucks.
He is he is an unsui.
So that would be in. I don't know who that would be in. Which faction?
Well, no,
would that be?
unsuis are temple monks. They're the lesser monks.
He looks like a lesser monk.
He's obviously in Kimchi.
Oh, okay, there you go. He's in Kimchi. He's okay. Not to sound rude. He looks like an homeless man, where he's just like, "Hey, I can teach you kung fu, kid. You got $20."
Come on into my dojo van.
That's basically it. So if you read the lore, he's like a mad raving doomsayer, and this is how he got the attention of the Kimchi.
That was my next option. He's that guy who stands in town square center. The end is nigh. The end is nigh. Also, I'll teach you kung fu for $10.
That is exactly what he was in the lore. He was yelling, the kitsune are taking over our islands, and be aware of everybody, because the male kitsune can change into humans, but only the male ones. This is because the female ones have big boobs, and so on and so forth. So he was basically a mad raving corner square guy who was doomsaying all the time, and this is how he got the attention of the Kimchi, and was taken in as an apprentice.
Taken in as an apprentice. Kimchi need to reevaluate their processes. All right, ravenous crazy guy. Yep, that seems good. Let's teach him our secret.
Let's start here with the crazy man. That'll work.
Exactly.
I like the cut of his jib.
But he's a 10 rice profile, so he's super small.
Oh god, he's gonna be a little nuke. He's gonna be another little nuke when he dies, and all of a sudden Master Shi pops out for free. When this model dies,
explodes from his body is what you're trying to say.
He turns into the void himself.
So that's funny that you mentioned that, Jason, because first play test that I did with a friend who's playing Kimchi in Austria, he yeeted him right into my list and went full attack on everything. Because he knew as a Kimchi monk, he would give you +1 on the void counters.
Yeah.
So the first line this character got after the first round of playtesting is, if this model is removed from play, he does add 1 to the void counters.
Can't do that.
Because Kimchi will do everything to go to R3 as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's been proven out at least at Adepticon this last year with taking the fog, where you take Maha with the fog kami. It's just like, all right, you're dead. How much am I at? Void 5? Yeah, let's get rolling, baby.
Exactly. That's pretty much it, yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. The options for STS were the one guy who went into Shiho and Ninjas now, and the blacksmith could have also become a STS model, but nobody really cared for that.
No. Never apologize for not giving Jason more STS models. That's okay.
I'm just gonna tell y'all, you can blame Grandmaster Cody for this. Grandmaster Cody is the one who helped me find my initial Silver Moon starter box on Bartertown for like $50.
Well, that's only because he didn't want you playing Cult of Uri, because he had gotten abused while in the War Machine years.
Always picking the undead faction.
Yes.
So what do? We give him the ultimate control faction. And once I figured out how to use it, oh shit! Well, that was not a correct choice.
Let's let Jason re-roll his already obscenely lucky dice with more re-rolls. Hooray! Oh wait, he could also make me re-roll my crappy dice. So
Jason also figured out he could shut down half of our crap. Oh, great!
Hey, hooray!
Oh. Well, guys, I have to get going slowly.
That's what I was going to say.
Sorry.
We've gone 20 minutes past what I wanted to do, but we do appreciate it. I love seeing all the art.
Don't worry about it. You're the one that gave us extra stuff, so thank you for that. And hey, it's been awesome being able to chat with you.
So thank you so much, Wandler, for being with us. Gaming Jason, it has been great having you. Everybody, if you enjoyed what you saw today, please subscribe. We do appreciate it if you would do that. We are over 600, but I'm trying to get to my obscenely impossible goal of 1,000 by the end of the year. It's not going to happen, but the closer we get to it, the better. And if you did like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up. Lets us know we're on the right track and we're doing things right. And finally, if you haven't done so already, there's a lot of stuff to comment on this episode. Throw some comments in. We'll be sure, whether it's me, Gaming Jason, or even Wandler jumping on, we'll be able to answer those as soon as we see them. So thanks again, everyone, for watching. Thank you again, Wandler, for coming on and giving us this opportunity to see stuff. And for everybody else, have a great day or evening, wherever you may be. We'll see you again soon.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Yes, go Bears.